Okay, yay, we are live on Facebook. Hi, everybody. It's Julia Mills here from Raleigh, healthcare business consultant. I help bring medical technology to clinics and to patients, and I'm also a LifeVantage business distributor. And over the last few weeks, I've been interviewing people that I have the honor and am blessed to work with, some just amazing people who are also interested in health and how to just optimize the body and also how to share information with those who might be interested. So today I have my dear friend, my next door neighbor, even though we're Zooming from our homes, and a nurse. Our kids went to school together, and just someone that I've gotten connected with even more so through our love of health. So this is Ruth Harris. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome, and thanks for taking time out. We've got about, what do we have? About 15 minutes, and 15 minutes to tell your story. And that's what I've been doing, is just sharing people's stories, and they're all very unique and different. And so that's what we're here for. And I'm going to read Ruth's biography first, and then we're just going to ask some questions, and looking forward to getting to know each other. So thanks for being here today, everybody. Ruth Harris was raised in Washington, D.C. area. As the oldest of 4 children, she always wanted to become a nurse and help others. At the age of 21, just starting her senior year of college, her mother died after a 3-year battle with breast cancer. In college, she wrote a paper about her personal story about the impact of her mother having breast cancer. She won a trip to the International Congress on Cancer in Budapest, Hungary, that was providing the latest research and talks from scientists and doctors from all over the world. After that, Ruth worked at Georgetown University Hospital for 4 years on a surgical floor where she took care of all kinds of patients. In 1990, she and her husband moved to North Carolina, where she began working as a labor and delivery nurse at Rex Hospital. She has worked there for 29 years and loves being a part of this very special time in people's lives. Ruth is married and has 3 living children, and is a loving grandmother to 2 beautiful granddaughters that I get to see, which is so nice. LifeVantage and the power of natural health empowerment has opened up a new world, giving her a passion for disease prevention and wellness. Ruth shares her excitement to help people with their health by sharing about the LifeVantage science and products. In the nooks and crannies of her busy life, besides full-time nursing and LifeVantage, she is also working toward her whole health education certificate through the National Institute of Whole Health located in Boston, with plans to help others gain knowledge and self-awareness about prevention and disease management so that they feel empowered, that they can take control of their health. So that is an incredible background, Ruth. You have spent, 30 years plus in the healthcare industry. And I think one thing that I like to ask you about, that you kind of provided your background there. If there's anything else you want to expand on, please do. But kind of, what have you seen in your 3 decades of working in our healthcare system that you like, that you don't like? And then how did that kind of lead you to wanting to learn more about prevention and kind of more holistic health?
Well, I guess, from my job, I deliver babies, so we don't take care of, I would say, sick people. But I have had so many friends, and of course my own family, that has had illness. And I know how much illness takes from a family. I know how much it costs. Just watching my mom, that was a huge impression that was left on me, because I saw somebody who never got to see any of her children graduate from college. She never got to see us get married. She never got the joy of seeing grandchildren. And that has been a huge driver in my life, is just wanting to be able to see my own children grow up. I wanted to have children early because I wanted to see them grow up, and I wanted to I just don't take my health for granted, because I know people that are sick, I know people that are suffering, and I know it's a gift, and you don't know when that day will come that
You're going in and out a little. Sorry.
You're battling something. So my health, I'm sorry. I can change locations if you need me to.
You just went out a little bit. So depending on how our technology works, we still have, I've got about another 10 minutes. So I really want to make sure that
Okay.
everyone can hear from you. So it was okay. It just went out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, that's been a huge driver of my life and it's made me very much appreciate my health. I've exercised. That's something that I've done since I've become an adult because I was so um, because of my mom. It's just made me like be more aware of what can I do to take control of my health. However, at the same time, I had no willpower and just ate whatever I wanted to. And I worked a night shift for the most of the 30 years that I've been working as a nurse here in Raleigh. And I know that it takes years off your life. So I know that's a bad thing that I've been doing. And I know my diet was not good until just a few years ago. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. I mean, so you had an early experience with someone you loved, your mom, who died too early, and so you've always wanted to kind of understand how we can prevent that, obviously for your family and for yourself. And then I know we've talked a lot about kind of shift work and what you know about cancer and shift work, which is something that is of interest. And so maybe talk a little bit about that and talk about, there's a lot of products out there. So talk about how you were introduced to this, it's a great story, you and I together. But I loved how you're introduced to it. And then why did you take the time to look further into it? I mean, I know you did your research. So talk a little bit about that.
So, well, I was introduced to it by you because we met at church and I didn't know you very well at the time, but my daughter had arthritis. It was very debilitating for her at the time and she was pregnant. So I was asking everybody to pray for her and ran into you at church and you were like, I have something that could help her. When are you leaving? I said, first thing in the morning. You said, I'll put it in your mailbox. So I looked at it. You sent me information. I was at my daughter's for 2 weeks and you sent me lots of information about it. And I looked at it. Some of it I looked at, some of it I kind of skimmed over. There was a webinar from a breast surgical pathologist that was very interesting to me. And so when I looked at all of that, I was very curious. And my daughter started the minute she delivered. She has started on the product the next day. And I came home and then you told me a little bit more about the product, but really I was like, my curiosity was up enough. It was like, if this is so good, I want to try it, because what you didn't know is that I was at a point in my life that I was no longer sleeping well. Finally, night shift was taking a toll on me and I couldn't get to sleep without taking something for sleep, which I had never done in my whole life. And that made me kind of uneasy that I was having to do that and waking up just more and more tired, the energy really dragging at my age. It's really hard to get back on track. So I was really having a hard time. Plus I was waking up at night and then I'm kind of one that worries about things. So I'd start worrying at 3, 4 a.m. and then I would worry all night long. And I'd wake up and like, oh my goodness, I've got to work all night long. Like it was really getting me down. So I was willing to try something. Plus I thought I'm not doing really a whole lot for my health because I'm not taking vitamins. I'm not eating that well. So I need to do something for my health. And that's when I started taking it. And then all of a sudden I noticed my anxiety was better and I was sleeping better and I was having dreams and I was rested and I was clear and I felt more energy and I could, I'm a very active person and I just had more energy for going out and exercising after working all night and sleeping for 4 hours, and I could get myself back on track. And I was, after about 4 months of that, I was like, oh my goodness, like, what is this? I wanted to take a closer look at what I was putting in my body. My daughter was feeling better. And as soon as you know that it helps you, you want everybody in your life to be on it. So then I told my husband, who has heart issues, like, you need to take this. And so I started doing research and I decided to join the company because it's like, I have an obligation to tell other people about ways that they can not only feel better immediately, like they're also helping their cellular health and they're helping disease prevention. And that was so amazing to me.
Well, and
so it took me down another road of, go ahead.
I was just going to say, out of the many people that I've talked to over the years about this, you are one that does a thorough job of research. It's really neat because I think we share the same level of in-depth scientific research. I know you do. And so I know now you've become really very knowledgeable of the NRF2 pathway and the NRF1 pathway and these genetic pathways that we're activating to heal at the cellular level. So how do you do that? I know that you're constantly kind of looking at the research, and tell us about the research. So the research on NRF2 and NRF1.
So I started doing a lot of research, not only for the program I'm in. I had to read a lot about the human body, different illnesses, prevention, and root causes of different things, the physiology of how our body works. And it's just so amazing to me. I came after like article after article on mitochondrial damage and oxidative stress and the activation, the serotonin role in neurodegenerative diseases. And all this research is not connected to the company at all. And I was just, the products that we have in this company are like really at the forefront. Like this is something that nobody else has out there. There's a lot of amazing things that different doctors, they develop their own product and then they put out there, and that's great. And there's some good, supplements that you should take that your body doesn't produce on its own. But this is something different that has your body activating its own pathways to protect you and to get rid of the trash that are in your cell. When you get a lot of trash accumulation in your cell and your pathways aren't working, just to put it very simply, that causes cell damage, and cell damage is what leads to all kinds of things. And you don't have to be 80 years old to get that. You can be born in utero. You could have been exposed to all kinds of toxins and chemicals or whatever. And so you could be born with deficits related to that. So
I was texting a friend of ours this morning and talking about the toxic load. So as we age, our ability to clean out the trash right in the cells decreases because we are no longer activating those pathways. But a lot of times we're born with a toxic load. I mean, I think when they tested umbilical cords of women and you're in labor and delivery, there's over 100 plus chemicals that are found in the umbilical cord. So many children are born with a very high chemical toxic load. And we have epidemics in childhood diseases right now, and things like that. So there's definitely a need for us to stop this hijacking and move to biohacking, or, kind of take control. And I think, the one thing you and I are really, we talk about too, is the fact that the science isn't 100% funded by our company. It's mostly actually funded by outside universities, which, as you and I know, being in the healthcare space, that's pretty rare that, it's not just from within the company, it's actually from outside the company.
Yeah, I think that's pretty amazing that other universities, prestigious universities, have thought this valuable enough to research it, that it was written about in the American Heart Association journal. Like they allowed that to be printed. That's pretty amazing, because this is not something that's put out by a big pharma, and big pharma is pretty powerful in our country, is what I'm finding out.
Yeah. Exactly. So I guess what I would just say, Ruth, maybe in final thoughts here is, because this was kind of introduced to your life, I guess, how has it changed you professionally and even personally? You maybe just take the last 2 minutes to share that, and then we are going to have to cut off early. It seems quick, but yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So when I realized, and I looked into the research and I saw cellular activation, I learned more about it, and I learned more about the herbs, because this is an all natural product that's made of 5 different herbs. And so I listened to this very long 5-day lecture. It's like all day lecture on different herbs and their power. And I was like, I never really thought much about it. I thought it kind of was not real. And so when I heard about the power of these different herbs, I thought, wow, well, no wonder why it works. And we know today that synergy is so much better than trying something on its own, because when you try one product on its own, a synergistic effect is just so much more powerful. So as I got appreciation for what was in the products and their power. And honestly, I've been to Belize and Costa Rica, and I've seen all kinds of plant derivatives that they've made pharmaceutical synthetic drugs that we use today. So I know it's real, but so I started learning about that, and then that took me into prevention, and I started reading books on how much power we have to help our bodies prevent disease, or even reverse disease processes. And so I just was like, I was astounded, and I thought, oh my God, help other people with this, and I can't not want to learn more, because it's just it's a very fascinating thing. I think I always thought that you would just wait around until you got sick, till that day came that you got sick. And I'm not saying I'm not going to get sick. Everybody is vulnerable to that. But if I can prevent that as long as possible and have a good health span, this life without illness, that is what I want for everybody I know. So that got me interested in that. It's helped me business-wise. Am I at the end of my? I was just going to say, just helping other people now in this business. I've always wanted to help people. Helping people by sharing this information has caused people to call me up and say, thank you so much. I had, tell me about this great doctor's appointment they had. And the doctors were baffled. And all they did was try this product. I was like, this is amazing. I just want to share this to more and more people. My whole family pretty much takes all of this, even my 90-year-old dad. So this has just led me down a different pathway to understand how the body works and how much control we really do have over disease prevention. And that is, I feel like that's maybe my mom's legacy. And so I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I maybe we haven't talked about that, but I do this for my dad, who died too early too. So he's kind of my driver as well. He was sick my whole life too. So that's just another interesting commonality that we have among many, which is what is so beautiful about our friendship and the chance that we get to work together too. So thank you, Ruth, so much for being here today and sharing your story with us. And we will see you soon. Thanks again.
Well, thank you. Bye.
Bye.